All right, hey, new video, and this is gonna go towards something that Miss Goddess of Empathy posted as she had a question regarding assertion and sort of being an extrovert. And there's definitely parallels with having that personality and doing this job. So I'm really glad she posed that question. All right, and just so you know, it's important. There's definitely a parallel there. When I have mediations, when I have depositions, you gotta be out there. I actually didn't do Toastmasters in law school, but I didn't really need to. Everybody has their nerves with public speaking, but you just get up there and you gotta do it. And if you're going into this profession, especially in litigation, it's gonna be a necessary evil. You'll be sitting in the galley in the courtroom when your name gets called or your number gets called for a hearing, when you're at a hearing, and you got to walk up to the podium, and if it's your motion, you're first to speak in open court to the judge. You got maybe 20 attorneys behind you kind of listening to your argument. You got opposing counsel ready to pick apart your argument, and you just got to go. It's something like this. It's like, hey, Your Honor, Christopher Ramsey on behalf of the plaintiff, we're here on plaintiff's motion to compel. They've had discovery due since January 1. We have not been able to reach an agreement. Opposing counsel promised that discovery would be to me on the 14th. It's now the 21st, and we're here and asking the judge to enter an order compelling the defendant to produce discovery due in no later than 10 days. You just got to get up there and start talking. When you have a mediation, it's going to be you. If you're doing plaintiffs, it'll be you, your client, opposing counsel, usually an adjuster who's going to write the check, and the mediator. And the way it works is a mediator will talk about his experience, let everybody know what the process is to the extent that you don't, and then you do your presentation. So as the plaintiff, I'm always the first to start talking, and you just got to go. I have, a little script about what I want to say, but you just got to stay calm, be confident, and say your argument and your position. That's essentially what it is. And there's no quick fix to being a better public speaker or being an extrovert. It's a matter of just putting yourself out there and doing it. It's going to functions. It's going to happy hours. It's practice. Every time before a hearing, I get a little nervous. It's normal, but it comes with the territory, and you get up there and you just have to do it. But I'm very glad that I get to talk about this, because it's one of those areas when you're practicing law that nobody really focuses on. Even if you're doing transactional law, you might have to report things to your boss, to your senior partner, to an authority figure. And I know that when I used to talk to my boss doing defense, this guy was so smart and knew all the cases inside and out. I sounded like a nervous, bumbling idiot trying to explain to him why I think we should maybe settle or what kind of stuff we need to do on discovery. I would just sit there and I'd be like, and he would say, relax, I'm not going to yell at you. What do you think we should do? And I was like, okay, all right, we should X, Y, Z, So it's just a matter of getting yourself out there, doing it. A lot of law students don't do this, but I did. Go to hearings, go to the courtroom if you're doing litigation, so you know what to expect. I used to watch that process a lot. I was fortunate enough to shadow some attorneys to hearings. I never sat, actually, that's not entirely true. I sat at a mediation at my first job doing defense, where my senior partner did all the talking, but I would sit there and watch and just be like, wow, like this dude knows what he's talking about. So like when I'm up, like I gotta come correct. And there's, like I said, there's no quick fix, but it is important, because a lot of times, especially at mediation, you're making the argument for your client and they're sitting right there. So if you're saying, so our demand is going to be, we're going to open at 100,000 because, you got our demand letter, so that who's going to respect that? No, you have to say, we're going to open the demand out at 100,000. I've spoken to my client. She is reasonable, but that's where we are now. I'm not going to sell her case short and open at 80 when we've given you a demand for 100. So that's where we're at now. You just say it, I hope that helps. If I can come up with any more tips, I will certainly share them. But, if you're going into litigation or you're in litigation, public speaking, necessary evil. All right, guys, I'll be back soon. Peace.